Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Create Your Life series, where we help you maximize your potential and results in the area of personal development, entrepreneurship, and travel. And I'm your host, Kevin Y. Brown.
Create your life.
Crée ta propre vie.
Create your life.
创造你的生活。
Create your life.
Crea la tua vita.
Create your life.
Und skip your liver.
You better create your life.
Create your life.
Create la vie.
Create your life.
Create your life.
Beautiful people, hello, how are you? This is the Create Your Life series. I'm your host, Kevin Y. Brown. Super excited to be here with you today and really just been having an all-around amazing week. What I would have to say about today is that, I actually just celebrated a birthday this past week. Thanks, Clark. Clark's in the studio. He's like, man, happy birthday. Thank you. It was a great one. If you don't know, then now you will know that I usually don't celebrate my birthday, really. And this year, you know what I said? You know what? I have a lot to be thankful for. Let me step out of my comfort zone. Let me hang out and do some amazing things with some good friends. And so I did so. And I actually celebrated for about 3 days. And yesterday, I kind of hit this wall where I was like, you know what? I think I'm tired. But it's been an amazing 3 days. I got to go and play laser tag. You know, I'm a big kid, so that was something that I wanted to do. Got to go all the way up to Yonkers and have this veggie burger that I've been craving for a while. So great dinner, great friends, lots of jokes at the table, which was absolutely hilarious. Got to do escape room with another friend, and so that was an amazing experience. And just bringing people together. We talked about old stories and, friends from college, friends who I've met in New York. I'm talking about people that I've known for 15 years. It was just really, really cool. And another thing that happened was yesterday I went to brunch with one of my friends, Derek Jones. And he and I were sitting with another one of his friends who's actually a trailblazer, very dynamic young lady who actually her name is Letitia Williams. And she actually founded and is the card game called Black Card Revoked, which is a very funny game if you play it. If you don't know certain things about the culture, then you'll definitely get your black card revoked. So it's funny. But I was just sitting there, had never met her before. And she said, well, how do you guys know each other? It seems like you guys have a bromance, like you guys are really cool friends. And I said, do you really? And I had to think about the story. And I was like, the way we know each other is really funny. And so how Derek and I actually became friends, I graduated from Clark and was thinking about, I had already did a top 10 video countdown with MTV. And so I wanted to get another opportunity with MTV. And my boy Reggie told me that Derek was from the Bay and that he went to Clark at the same time as me. And mind you, I've never met this guy. And he gave me his phone number. So I called him up and I said, hey, man, my name is Kevin Brown. I sent him my information and said, hey, I sent him my reel and stuff and said, I'm looking for an opportunity up there with MTV. He was working at MTV at the time. And so Derek is like, all right, well, cool. I'll see what I can do. So essentially he gets me an audition, right? So this is like in May. He gets me an audition and I come up, I do the audition. And then I decide, you know what? I want to play with the big boys. So then I moved to New York 2 months later. And so I'm in New York, and I mind you, I don't know Derek. I literally asked him for a favor, don't really know this guy. So I do that. And then he actually goes, well, I take that back. So I don't know Derek. And then I actually moved to New York. So I'm here in New York. I see Derek maybe like here and there. But about 2 months after being into New York, I end up homeless. And so I literally call up Derek and say, hey, man, is it possible for me to sleep on your couch? And he's like, all right, no problem. So I say, all right, I sleep on his couch for a while. And then, when his girlfriend would come over, I would have to leave out of his room and, maybe sleep on the floor. But after a while, I became cool with his roommate, my boy Gustavo. So when Derek's girl came over, then I went and slept on Gustavo's couch. And they literally stayed right across from each other. They had this small 2-bedroom apartment. And then when Gustavo's girlfriend came over, I slept back on Derek's couch. But when both of their girlfriends were there, I slept either in the hallway on the floor or in the kitchen on the floor. And so their girlfriends and them, they were stepping over me to go get breakfast and to get and to go to the restroom, at night or in the morning, right? And but it was just a part of the grind. And so I was grinding, like trying to figure out, find a job, things like that, because I didn't want to be sleeping on these guys' couches. But I was thankful that they let me. And then there were times where they were like, "Look, man, you gotta figure something out." So I have to sleep on the train, or I have to sleep at another friend's house, in Queens or somewhere else. And we laughed at the table because there was this one time I had a job interview, and Derek, at his house, I had shoes there. I had my pants were in Brooklyn, and my belt were in Brooklyn, but my jacket and my shirt were in Queens. And I needed to get to this interview. So it was just, very poor planning, but just that's a perspective on the life that I was living right then at that time. And so, we just laughed about it. And, just several sentences that he was saying at the time when we were at the table, we were talking with the young lady, I could finish them, or it was like, we knew exactly what we were talking about. But I think that it was just amazing to go back through that point in time, because he and I are so cool now that, I hadn't thought about, that time in a long time. Like we've had like adventures together, actually been in a high-speed chase before, just all kinds of stuff that you just wouldn't believe. But whenever I go to the Bay, we touch down, and whenever he comes to New York, we touch down. So it was really great to break bread with him yesterday, man, and just, kind of take a trip down memory lane. So that was really awesome. Another question that was asked to me yesterday was, what's the secret to getting to 100 episodes? And I thought that was a really, really cool question, but it's kind of the answer is so deep, right? It's not as simple as I gave a couple of simple answers, but I feel like it's even more, it's deeper than what I gave. And some of the things that I said that help you to get there is, number one, you have to be authentic. You have to be yourself, right? And let people know that, like you're doing this because I genuinely love to see people win, but also, I'm Kev. So I'm not going to try to be Hollywood on you. I'm not trying to exploit you. I don't want, anything. We had a particular guest who was a high caliber guest, celebrity status actually, but has said some things that could have got us ratings, but we're not here for the ratings. So I cut that stuff out of the podcast episode, and you'll never hear it, because we believe in good content. So I think being authentic is one of the things, being committed, you have to work when you don't want to, and understand that being able to work and come into the radio station is actually a blessing. So that's huge in itself. And work on holidays. I was here on Christmas Eve. I was here on Halloween. I was here on, New Year's Eve. That's what it takes in order to get to that 100 episodes. And I think the other thing is being bold enough to ask the question and ask for what it is that you want. Because had I not asked the station manager here, is there any room in the schedule for a new show, then we wouldn't be here. So being bold, even asking Derek, hey, man, can I sleep, on your couch? You got to be bold. You know what I mean? Sometimes, you just have to jump all in. And when people see your grind and they see you doing your thing, then they want to help. Everybody wants to be a part of a success story. And I help others because I definitely want to be a part of their success story as well. Iron sharpens iron. And if you're not sharpening, then you're rusting. And I think another thing is that while I did get to celebrate my birthday this year, especially with good company, good friends, hanging out for those 3 days, I did get some work done, but not as much work done as I normally would had I not been celebrating. And a lot of my friends, they say, hey, man, you know what? You deserve to take some time off. Kev, you always working. You always focused. I would have to say this, too, is that, my focus was a little, not iffy, but it was definitely like, it was altered a bit. And so what that made me think of was one of my friend Lisa's quotes. Lisa Nicole Wilkerson. She says, "Focus on focus." And I just thought that was such an amazing quote. But at the same time, it's like, we're rolling back in. Okay, hung out for a bit, for the birthday celebration, et cetera. Great. Now we got to get back into the groove of things and get back focused because this is early in the year. So I thought about Lisa's quote, and then I thought about a Post-it note that I saw on my mentor's desk that said focus. But it had a word written by each letter. So he essentially turned it into an acronym. And he said focus, FOCUS. The F is for finish. Matter of fact, just let me read it out. Finish one course until successful. And I love that because actually in the midst of course, hanging out and, stuff like that, I was about to do something that was actually out of scope for Create Your Life. I was going to do a webinar on a completely different subject matter for a small group of people, which I thought would be very beneficial to them. But in reality, it was out of focus and out of scope for what it is that we're trying to accomplish here at Create Your Life with our short-term goals. And so I think that it's important for us to minimize distractions, ladies and gentlemen. And we have a lot of months left in this year. And so we have to get focused and we have to get organized, or else the years will pass us by. It won't just be this year that passes by. It'll be other years and years to come. And then you'll wake up and you'll say, hey, where is time flown? So I think it's super important for us to make sure that we are, that we're focused. And so that's what today's show is about is, I got 20 ways for us to get and remain focused. And before I jump into those 20 ways, we're going to cut to a quick musical break. And we're going to come right back. So here we go with Strive. This is the unofficial Create Your Life series song. Beautiful people, this is the Create Your Life series. We are back. I'm your host, Kevin Y. Brown, and I want to send a special shout out to those who are tuning in via Facebook Live. So Create Your Life family, Sharvie, thank you for sending me happy birthday wishes, and thank you so much for the compliment, saying that I'm such a grinder. And Vaughn, I want to say thank you as well for saying that, we're providing good content. Said good stuff, bro. So appreciate you. Most definitely. And so, man, I just want to jump right into it with you, Create Your Life family. Here are the 20 ways to get refocused and remain focused throughout the year. Number 1, simplify. Simplify what it is that you're trying to accomplish during this year. And that's the reason why I did the goal setting workshop earlier this month, because I believe that it's super important for us to get very clear on what it is that we're trying to accomplish. And another way of simplifying and keeping that at the top of mind is something that I heard a long time ago. It's called KISS, K-I-S-S, which means keep it simple, stupid. I guess we need to switch that S up on there instead of calling ourselves stupid. So we'll work on that. You know what I mean? You know what? Keep it super simple. How about that? I like that more. So we're going to keep it super simple. That's number 1. Number 2, have a morning routine. You got to get your morning routine together. And I would like to actually tell everybody about mine because, I changed mine. Mine used to be called SPARM F. And what I did is I had to go further in depth with my thinking and say, you know what? I think that everybody and that I want to wake up to my own ambitions every day. And so one thing that I do, Create Your Life family, that you already know is that I literally put my phone on airplane mode at night. And then at night, then I, from there, having my phone on airplane mode, then I wake up to my own thoughts. Like nobody can get in contact with me. I can't check new emails. I can't, hop on IG, anything like that. So I'm very focused in the morning. So here we go. Ambitions. I'm going to give you the word for each letter. So ambitions, the A. Affirmations. You know how I am with this. You have to create a personal daily affirmation. And this is an audio that affirms who you want to be, the habits you are keeping and building upon, and what you want to accomplish in this year. The M is for motivation. You have to listen to something motivational, either in audio or video form. YouTube is a great resource, and I will tell you right now, I listen to a lot of stuff that is Evan Carmichael. Body. And that means that every morning I wake up and I stretch for at least 15 minutes just to get my body and my blood circulating and things like that. The I is for investments. So this means that you should be checking your finances to make sure that everything is accounted for and that people, especially at restaurants and things like that, have charged you the accurate amount that you said that you were going to tip for. I did some accounting last year on my personal expenses and definitely found out that I was being charged more than I had written and given permission for. And this is also a way to motivate you every day because you have financial goals that you need to hit for the year. Thankfulness. Tell the universe what you are thankful for. So this is actually something I do when I first wake up, just thankful for, being able to hear, eat, think, and smell, amongst other things. The I. The second I is for intelligence, which means that, my thing is that I like to read at least 10 pages per day. And what this does is increases your intelligence daily and can help you to finish a 300-page book in 1 month, right? You got 30 days in a month, 31 days in a month. And if you read 10 pages, you're knocking it out, slowly but surely. The O. The O actually stands for 2 things, opportunities and organized. So I'll usually take 15 minutes to assess the opportunities that I have in front of me and decide which ones I'm going to work towards. The N is for nutrition. So eat breakfast and definitely make sure that you take care of your vitamins. And then the S, last but not least, is look at your calendar to mentally prepare for your day and adhere to your daily schedule. I am the king of, if it's not on my calendar, it probably won't happen. Right. So that's why I always, even, my team that works with me here on the show, I'm like, send me a calendar invite. Therefore, when I check my schedule in the morning, I know I need to meet you at 10 o'clock. I have a phone call at 1. I need to do this. I need to do that. So I have those things scheduled in so that I can adhere to it. So that's my daily schedule. But one thing that I want to point out to you all is that the order that I execute my ambitions in daily is differently than just ANBITIONS. Right. So you have the opportunity. Some things might flow and work better for you quicker than others. Right. So for me, the first thing that I do is just exercise my thankfulness. Right. In the morning. And then I do my body and my affirmations at the same time. So I stretch while listening to my affirmations. So my body is getting right. My mind's getting together, getting motivated. And I'm listening to my affirmations at the same time. And then my S, after I do that, then I check my schedule to make sure that, I don't need to be rushing out of the house. And then once I do that, then I go for intelligence. Then I read after that and make sure that, I knock those 10 pages out. Then after I read, I go ahead and I look at my bank account, check my investments, things like that. And then after I do that, then I listen to something motivational. From there, I usually go to the gym or I work out at home. But I also work out on an empty stomach. So then when I come back from the gym, I do N, which is my nutrition. I take my vitamins, I eat my breakfast. And then number 9 is I look at the opportunities that I'm going to go for during the day outside of my actual, outside of what's scheduled. And that's how I start my day. So that, ladies and gentlemen, was number 2. Moving on to number 3, which is the third way on how to get refocused and remain focused. So we 3 out of 20 right now. Let's go. Number 3 is declutter. So that means give yourself permission to let things go. You got all of those papers sitting around. You have, old clothes that you should have been gotten rid of or that you should have given away. Do it. Get rid of the stuff. Old furniture, stuff just sitting there. Get rid of all of that stuff. Declutter so that, when your house is clean and when your environment is clean, then so is your mind and it's clear. So let's declutter. Number 4, I would have to say is get clear. Sounds similar, but these are 2 different things. Get clear on what you're trying to accomplish. What is the overall goal that you're working towards? What is that 5-year plan? What is that 3-year plan? And what do you have planned out for the year? And what is it that you're working very hard to accomplish in this month? Do that. Then number 5, decide what's important. If you're stuck, just think of the tasks that you fear the most that give you the anxiety. And those are probably the most important ones. So I think that that's super important, is to decide what's important. Number 6, pick your daily top 3. And that means the top 3 tasks that you have to do daily in order to make sure that you're really making a difference. And so for me, one of those, sometimes that is, making sure that I'm making a certain amount of sales calls and things like that. And so I literally put that first, and even making sure that I'm reading every day, that I'm sharpening. Those are things that I have to do on a consistent basis in order to make sure that I'm growing and that I'm making things happen. So those are, I have my top 3. So you have to decide what your top 3 are. And then number 7 is to do your top 3. Do those things first before you do any other things. Of course, you might need to eat. You have your morning routine, but don't jump out the window. And that's an expression. But don't jump out and just start doing a mass array of things. Stay focused on those 2 to 3 things that you need to do every single day in order to compound. Those should be the first things that you do. And then my number 8 is avoid the internet before doing your daily top 3, if at all possible. Because social media, taking phone calls, things like that are all distractions and can turn your day and move your day to a completely different type of day and just to a completely different energy. So I think that's super, super important as for us to avoid the internet if we can accomplish our top 3. Number 9, eliminate multitasking. Eliminating multitasking matters so much because a lot of people think that you're doing a lot and getting a lot done while you're multitasking, and in reality, you're not. It's just a bunch of distractions. You're half here, half there, half in somewhere else. So that's very, very important for you to be able to do, is to stay focused on one thing. And last but not least, for the first 10, I would say take breaks. And what I usually do is I usually either set my stopwatch, or I set the alarm on my phone. I put my phone in airplane mode, and I set the alarm on my phone, and I put it in airplane mode, and I work in 30-minute intervals, and I take breaks every 2 sessions. But my time and my focus are usually heightened because I'm working in these small pockets, and it just turns me into a completely different beast. I know that I just need to focus in for this 30 minutes. And before I know it, I've probably pressed that reset button 4 times, and I've knocked out 2 hours worth of work of greatly focused work, and it just makes a huge difference. And so taking breaks in between those 30-minute intervals will really make a difference. But just making sure that you're doing it in pockets is super important. So Create Your Life, family, those are the first 10 of the 20 ways. So I want you to know that we're going to come back. We're going to have some great things for you. We're going to cut to a quick musical break, and we'll be back. Here we are with DJ Kent featuring Liquid Deep, Top of the World.
Hi, I'm Diane. I have a daughter, Nikki, and she's a senior at high school. She just got accepted for early decision into college. Prior to taking Kevin's program, we were pretty overwhelmed because her college debt after her merit scholarships looks like it's going to be about $150,000 in 4 years. Feeling pretty overwhelmed about that $150,000 potential debt, I decided to enroll in Kevin's debt-free College Academy full course program. And I have to say the value for the money for what we got out of the program was absolutely amazing. Kevin takes you step by step with many different tips and many different strategies for not only the student, but for us as parents, for our student, things that we can do to really help save money and prepare.
If you or your child are looking to save money on college costs, sign up for Debt Free College Academy today at debtfreecollegeacademy.com using coupon code FREECOLLEGE.
Soundtrack courtesy of Purple Planet Music.
Beautiful people, this is the Create Your Life series. I'm your host, Kevin Y. Brown, and we are back. We are back with some great information for you. As you already know, super excited to give you this game. And we've been having some good feedback for those who are listening. Somebody called in and requested a song by Common, gentleman, one of our regular listeners. So just, real happy about the way that we're progressing and making things happen here today. So let's jump right back in. We got the 20 ways to get refocused and remain focused for the year. And so that being said, we ended off on number 10. Let's jump into number 11. Number 11, I think, is super important. And I think that everybody, or not everybody, a lot of people, get caught up in this. And the thing about it is this: you got to master your inbox. That's number 11, master your inbox, which means that you need to make it to where you could only have to check your email twice a day, 3 times max. But we don't spend your life in response mode. It's just not the way to live. It's super important for us to be able to master our inbox and be in control of what's happening to us and around us. Number 12, give yourself time to be great. And I know that sounds, very abstract, but what I'm really focusing on with this particular number is that sometimes we overload our calendars and we're stressed trying to get everything under the sun done, when in reality, we need to give ourselves time to be human. So you shouldn't have back to back on your calendar. You need a little bit of time to maybe even commute, take time to go and use the restroom, take time to, grab a coffee. You need to take time to just breathe sometimes. So give yourself time to be great. Give yourself a little bit of time to breathe while you're making these amazing things happen in your life. Number 13, turn the music off. I equate music oftentimes to that you're listening to someone else's thoughts and emotions. And though in certain situations they can be motivational, I think that oftentimes they can be distracting if you're trying to focus. So I think that, for me personally, listening to music helps when I'm doing something creatively that's just kind of like what I call grunt work. So if I was copying and pasting a big project or doing something like that, then music would be okay. But even after a while, I feel distracted by that, and I need to, in order for me to create my best work creatively or whatnot, then I definitely have to be listening to my own thoughts so that I can think things through. So that's huge for me. Number 14. I love saying this and I live by it, and I think that it's super important. But forget perfection and focus on progress. So important to forget about perfection. Everybody wants to be perfect. And what is the point of being perfect, right? We're supposed to continue to get better every single day. And we're going to lose focus from time to time. There might be a day where things don't go great and stuff like that happens. You might say, oh, I'm going to the gym for, 7 days this week, and you missed Wednesday. So does that mean that you do not go Thursday through Sunday? No, that does not mean that. That means that you have to keep going. It's just progressing. You're getting better every single day. So get up, fight the good fight, and understand that this is a marathon. Run the marathon. Compete in the marathon. Life is a marathon. Number 15. Write things down physically. Then check them off physically. For me, this works. Sometimes I can take down these electronic notes and things like that. But in reality, sometimes I just need to create a good old checklist. And with that checklist, when I see myself writing those things down, or I have it on my dry erase board and I check it off or put a line through it, it just does something for me. So I think that that's definitely a way for us to get focused and remain focused and get refocused. All of that is by writing stuff down physically. So I've given you 15 of the 20. So we're going to cut to another musical break, and then we'll come back and you'll be blessed with a couple more. So beautiful people, here we are. I'm going to take it back old school. We got the new shoes, but I can't wait. Create Your Life family. This is the Create Your Life series. I'm your host, Kevin Y. Brown, and we are back. We got those 20 ways for you to get focused and remain focused throughout the year. And so now we're jumping right in. I gave you the first 15 already. Now here comes the second the last 5. So here we go. Organize. Number 16, organize for 15 minutes each day. I think that this is super important. It's something that we all should be doing is, take that time to organize your thoughts, organize your space, and just get in the mode of being in calming and being in control of what's going on around you. Number 17, plan your week out. I think that that's super important. It's something that I'm actually focused on right now is planning out my week. I have to plan out the week for the team. I have to plan out the week for the admin, for the show, for the team, making sure that everybody is on their A game. Of course, we have our regular tasks that we must do and things like that. But if there are any extracurricular or any things that are outstanding that we need to focus on and make happen, then I definitely always want to make sure that, we're ahead. Number 18 is plan your day out the night before. The reason why these two are different is because your week, you can literally set the goals that you want to happen during the week and you can plan them out. But you definitely need to know, okay, tomorrow I need to do X, Y, and Z. This is the day for this to get done. So I think that that's important for you to even go to sleep with that in your mind because somehow it manifests the next day into what it is that you're doing. Number 19, which is something that I have realized about myself that I do well. And when I get the most things done, is I would encourage you to work alone. Sometimes we need to be in a silent, quiet space to get things done. And so if you know that about yourself, then do it. You can go and work amongst others later. Again, if you have that busy work, then you can do that amongst others. But if there's stuff that really requires you to think and go through things, then that's super important for you to be able to do. And so, number 19, work alone. Number 20. Is to have an accountability partner, somebody that's holding you accountable for what it is that you are doing and what you've been doing. So super duper important in my opinion. And if I say that I'm going to give you 20, if I tell you that I'm going to give you 10, if I tell you that I'm going to give you 15, then there's at least 1 or 2 more that you're going to get from me. I got to over deliver, under promise, over deliver. That's what we do here at the Create Your Life series. We, make sure that we give you everything that we've got. So that being said, number 21, check in with your accountability partner regularly. That's just something that is super important. It's okay to have an accountability partner, but you really want to be able to check in with this person and have them on speed dial when you're having challenges, when things are going great, when you just want to talk about what the process is and how stuff is going. Number 22, and this is one that I just love. And I got this off my mentor's desk, Raphael Moffitt. And I'm just going to call this one Focus on Winning. But winning, WIN, what's important now. So focus on what's important now And that is a sense of prioritizing and making sure that you are moving forward to make amazing things happen. So Create Your Life family, there you are. You have the 20 ways to get focused and remain focused throughout the year. So that being said, we're going to cut to a musical break. I want you to know that we are happy to have you here. Call in to the show, 212-650-6903. Tell us what's going on in your mind, what's going on with your focus, how we can be of assistance, and join our accountability group. Because we're out here, we're crushing stuff. And in other words, I like to say we're killing ish. But there's always that quote that my friend Alicia Nash says. She says, "I'm gonna win because you ain't gonna do ish." So we're not going to be like that. We're going to make sure that we're winning, and that we're always proactive in making stuff happen. So beautiful people, I'm going to have to tell you, it's been a great one, and we'll catch you next week. Beautiful people, if you enjoyed this episode of the Create Your Life series, be sure to download it from our podcast, which is available on createyourlifeseries.com, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and Google Music. Also, be sure to leave a review of the podcast. You can catch us live on Sundays from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time via 90.3 FM in New York, or on Facebook Live at facebook.com/KevBrown1. We encourage you to participate in the conversation on Facebook or call in at 212-650-6903. Follow us on Instagram at CYLS Series and at Kevin Y. Brown. Be blessed, and we'll see you back here live next week.
Create your life.
Crée ta propre vie.
Create your life.
创造你的生活。
Create your life.
Crea la tua vita.
Create your life.
Ontsteek jou lewe.
You better create your life.
Create your life.
Create la vie.
Create your life.
Create your life.